Hey everybody, and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program RP-0. This is our Twitch livestream recap from last week, July 11th, 2018. We are continuing development on supporting hardware for our Mars base program. You may remember in some of the last Twitch live streams, we were working on getting a rover to load a resupply canister onto a docking port attached to the side. And well, this is the delivery method for those resupply canisters. The ultimate goal here is we'll jump out to a simulation here at Mars, is to truck probably 10 to 15 of these individual canisters in a single launch, and then we can deorbit them individually in hopes of improving our ability to target landings on the surface of Mars. They will be mostly engines with a nice parachute assist. Each complete unit comes in at a little under 5 tons. Well, maybe it's a little over by the time we're done with this, but 5.1, 5.2 ton maximum. So this is our just first initial test phase, seeing if we could land this thing on the surface at all. That's going to be the first hurdle to cross. After that, we will start to work on if we can land them anywhere near where we want to land them, which is an entirely different process altogether. So each simulation run costs us about $3,000. This is canon, I guess you would call it. We are running this in the career mode save, so this does cost us actual monies per simulation. Not the biggest deal. This is probably the least expensive thing that we've ever tested in these live stream editions. But we'll just warp the testing right out to Mars so we can get an accurate idea of what's going on here. We do have signal delay through remote tech, so booting the unit, deploying the air brakes, and arming the chute are all tied to a single action group, and then it's just a matter of activating the engine, making a deorbit burn, and then seeing how it behaves within the atmosphere. So currently we are just barely skimming the very uppermost parts of Mars's atmosphere. We're going to try to drag out our crawl through the atmosphere as much as we can before we light that engine to do its initial deceleration burn to slow it down enough for the parachutes to deploy. But that will really, the longer it takes, the better off we are. The more chance the very thin atmosphere at Mars has a chance to actually slow the thing down. As we're coming here to about 115 kilometers, 104 kilometers radar, we'll start to get ourselves angled into retrograde actual. We want to make sure that those air brakes, even though there isn't a whole lot of air, they are going to have some impact, and really the best thing they can do for us is just keep the engine pointing down. Once we start to burn through fuel, there's going to be a weight imbalance, and we're going to try to rely a bit more on aerodynamics to hopefully get some of this cleared up. We do have it's not really a reserve tank, but we have a ballast tank at the top that we will pump fuel lower as we need to, although if I were smart, I would have kept that tank open. So we're coming in about 90 kilometers radar altitude when we have discovered that there are cities on Mars, thanks to a glitch with RS-EVE. Always interesting. We've seen this on the moon a few times, but not so much here on Mars. A little disappointing to think that we've been beaten here so thoroughly. Anyway, we are starting our initial burn at a pretty high altitude of about 90 kilometers. We are just trying to slow down so our high atmosphere drag chute could deploy. It is currently at caution status, but, well, no, it is an initial test run. We lose it. But here's old me for live landing coverage. Alright, ullage, ignition. Let's just see how much slowy downy bits we can get here. We might end up pulsing this engine just because we're going to slow down and then let ourselves fall, and then slow down and then let ourselves fall. And we're still really high. Our angle's all wrong. Atmosphere pre-ullages you. You're right, it does. I just don't think we're around enough atmosphere to ullage anything right now. Another another 2 minutes of runtime. We're going to kill it at 1 minute of runtime remaining, and then we will unlock our upper tank. And that's going to be our, we're going to hit the ground burn. Dang it. Kind of miffed. I wasn't paying attention for the... And see, I had a chute that I accidentally forgot to reconfigure. Or I configured it extra high just to see what would happen. It was on the last crewed Mars landing. And it worked really, really well. And I'm trying to, like, recapture that, but I can never remember at what altitude or speed I deployed it for. Alright, 25 seconds till shutdown. I really should time this out so that I can use 2 minutes of runtime and have it shut off just as we get to about 10 kilometers altitude. And that should be enough to arrest us for the chutes to deploy. 3, 2, 1, shutting down. Alright. I don't think we have any more chutes deploying until about 10 kilometers altitude. Why not make every supply module rover-like so precision doesn't matter much? I would like to get better at precision, but it's landing stuff with wheels gets a lot more hectic and complicated. And it takes up a lot more space. It is something to think about. We'll just have to see exactly how poorly all of this goes. 2019. Oh! I did not think we had a chute to deploy yet. Okay, hold on a second. Yes, let's get to retrograde. Nope, come on, give me the tank. This isn't going to go well. Driving 385 kilometers across rugged Martian terrain to get your kibble and Gatorade's not pleasant. True that. But I still end up driving 300 kilometers across rugged Martian terrain so that I can have kibble and Gatorade. Press F. Alright, that was the worst test ever. Let's revert to launch. Let's see if we can just run the simulation again. Alright then. Revert, spaceplane hangar. So, since that didn't work, we're going to take the opportunity to reconfigure our parachutes and go for more of a low atmosphere release and try to ditch the high atmosphere parachute idea altogether. It worked for the heavier things, but probably won't work for this one. But because we reconfigured the parachutes, that changed our tonnage a little bit. So we're going to have to reconfigure some things to get this to work. Basically comes down to we're going to add another Avionics core to the top of this after we show what mod pack the air brakes are from. It's SXT, I believe. And then put the parachute back on top of it. We can fit 1.1 liters of aerosine in there, so we might as well. And then we'll up our fuel tank a little bit. And then here's where I made a pretty fatal error, which becomes really obvious in just a few minutes. Yeah, that I'd want to have it. Is it DPAI? Alright. Entry mode, activate. RCS, stability control. Let's make sure all these commands are going through. Nope. Really? What is... We have connection. RCS stability control? RCS stability control? Why is nothing working? That is very interesting. Did I screw it up? Oh, I know what mod you're talking about. Theos! Good to see you, man. Editor extender, that's what Wookie's talking about. Vejos. You made it just in time for nothing to work right. My flight computer is not registering commands. True to your legend, sir. We're gonna see if it just kicks on. Watch for the lights to flash in about 2 minutes. Nothing blew up, but we weren't doing anything worthy of blowing up. But I can't get RCS or stability control to come on. Veos, your legacy is endearing, believe me. Alright, that worked. Still no RCS or stability control, and I don't know why. I'm out of time warp. Flight computer registers nothing. Every freaking time. So yeah, MechJeb will... Does MechJeb have a function where it will automatically turn on RCS? Because Veos. I just got ripped off for $3,000. So I basically spend a few minutes here fumbling around in MechJeb and other various automated systems trying to bypass what is essentially an avionics lock on the craft itself, making it so that I can't turn on SAS or RCS, and blame it on Veos the whole time. So it's one of those things. Eventually, we will jump back into the VAB where I will see the warning about avionics and then go, oh, we're just a little bit over. So we'll trim back the fuel levels a bit and then get this back out to Mars to run another simulation. All right, close. Let's make sure this is working. Activate engine. Yes. RCS, SAS, entry mode boot, 15-minute delay. MechJeb go away. I can program a little better than Hello World, but the margin there is very small. I'm starting to look at KOS codes, so hopefully we'll get better. All right, let's take a look at our map view. All of our chutes should also be armed now. I would like to do this during the daytime. We'll turn on our mess. Here at Mars, we'll probably make our burn here at maneuver. Targeted landings are infinitely more difficult when you cannot see the surface because it's too bright, thanks to some mod interfering with some other mod that I can't do. Whoa. Okay. No. Alright, that's fine. No big deal. Alright. Set periapsis at 32 kilometers. Why is the... What? I don't recall ever having adjusted any of these. Yeah, it really shouldn't be that difficult. What is going on? Why is it now down to 5 kilometer? Okay. 84, that's too high. I mean, it might not be too high, but that's going to make us land not during the daytime. Yeah, we'll try it here. If he doesn't report back, we know something. We know why. I'm glad the chips taste normal, pulsified. We all secretly hope they are normal, right, everyone? Don't dig direct into complex things. You can just use someone else's complex codes if you're considering KOS as an instrument, not as a goal. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to use time to node I don't know why that maneuver node is acting so fickle. KOS Kung Fu Masters due to sample return missions fully automated. I'm not entirely sure how much I would actually enjoy automating. I mean, especially since I can use RCS thrusters and engine ignitions without signal delay. I'm really not all that upset by it. It just, yeah, I can see how it would make things easier, but sometimes making things easier is way less fun. It's useful. I agree. It is very useful. Alright, let's back out of this time warp. How's it going, Isbang? Thanks for coming by. We are testing out our resupply pods for our Mars base. As soon as I can actually point down the retrograde vector. And you know what? To avoid the chaos of last time, oh, now is not the time to play the you can't click on me game. There we go. Let's lock this tank open. And lock this tank open so that we can transfer resources. Pigeon on a chair, how's it going? Thank you, sir. Holla, broski. Much appreciated, sir. Thank you. Alright. Ullage. Ignition. Let's get that periapsis down to, I don't know, what are we thinking? 30? 30's good. Disarm parachute. So yeah, all of our chutes are armed. That's excellent. Now we just warp around to, whoa, not alt. Regular time warp, please. We'll hit Atmo, thunk. Kill this node because it's stupid. Oh yeah, I did adjust the deployment altitude of the chute, didn't I? Alright, so I've already forgotten what our, I think 30 kilometers is for our drogues. We'll just tell you to hold retrograde. Well, thanks for coming and hanging out, Commander Cloud. Greatly appreciate it. Have a good evening. Get some sleep. That's that bottom chute. So we should be watching. Well, no, because that one's our ultra low chute. So 30 kilometers is our drogue chute altitude. 3 minutes 43 seconds of runtime. Then we've got an extra minute of runtime in our top tank. Yeah, but I could see simulation gaming. I could see it would have to be a conditional and statement. If altitude less than blank and speed less than blank, deploy chutes. Also, we'd have to write something to fire the engines so that it can calculate how long to run them to make sure that we are below that speed at that given altitude. Damn you, Elon Musk. All these cities on Mars. Probably Temenku. We are testing resupply drops for a Mars base. that is going to go to Mars sometime in the near future. This midsection is life support, and the rest of this is just hardware to try to get it on the surface safely. So we're just doing some dry run testing, seeing how accurate we can be with our landings, even though we haven't designated a spot to shoot for. We're just testing this thing to see what happens. A Mars base that will be going to Mars, which is the appropriate place to put a Mars base. We could put it on Venus, but then it's a death camp colony. 80 kilometers, 3.2 kilometers per second. We are still picking up speed. Not surprising. Really? That's true. The Venus Return project did not initially go to Venus. Wonder where we'll come down. That periapsis is going to drop. I could have just looked here. It's about to go subterranean. Mars is quite pretty when you can see it, which is only at altitudes under 100 kilometers, because I have no idea what mod is causing it to be crazy. I've tried messing with Planet Shine and Ambient Light Adjustment, but I think it's RSEVE causing all this ridiculous glare. It looks like a star. Alright, 60 kilometers. We have started to slow down. Go, air brakes, go. All shoots red across the board. I think we're going to try to fire these engines at about 45 kilometers and hope that we can slow down enough for our initial drogues. Scatterer. Texas Queens, do you know how to bring up the Scatterer menu to make alterations? Because that would be awesome. I agree, Simulation Gaming, and I think with later updates, it might be 131. They introduced a pressure mechanic. Oh, 42 kilometers. I am past my ignition point. Thanks a lot, fellas. Keeping me on task here. Ignition. Alt F12 brings up the cheaty menu. Alt F10. We're just going to take a look. Contract configure and scatterer. Oh, awesome. Okay. We're going to have to go through that a bit later. Right now, let's try to land something. We're 31 kilometers. We're going to lose our drogues. Yeah, 2 kilometers per second. Come on, baby. Burn for Papa. Yeah, we're in enough atmosphere where we can't really change. We can do this, but that's about it. Get direct access on this pitch angle. Maybe we can buy ourselves a little more time. 27 kilometers. No shoots have tried to deploy, so I guess I'm wrong about what I set those things for. Alright, hear me, baby, hold together. Yeah, we gotta shed like a kilometer per second. Very interesting. Been away from your install for a couple of months. You can't dive into KSP right now. Yeah, have time. The mods in KSP will be upgraded again. Yeah, it's a sad cyclic story of playing KSPs. The constant upgrading and changing of things, which is, I don't know, why I'm so reluctant to change things with the install. Alright, 1.8. We should be going yellow onto something here pretty soon. 2 minutes 40 of runtime, totaling about 1 kilometer per second. Come on. Oh, we're at cautions for all chutes. Which, man, they should be going, I guess 10 kilometers is what I set them for. So maybe just 500 meters per second. Let's get the thrusters in on this action. Come on, baby. 10 kilometers. Still caution on all chutes. Drogues! Holding! Yes! Whew. And look at those tiny little drogue chutes. Why are the other ones regular sized and those are not? Oh god, their deployments are set differently. Oh yes, burning all the fuel. Shutting down. Would you look at that? Just look at it. We'll deploy on the cute baby chutes. They're little babies. Man, we're up to 100 meters per second. That's hilarious. It's okay though. 2 kilometers altitude. We got 600 meters per second left in these tanks, and there goes our last primary of actual sized parachutes. Could we soft land this thing just on parachutes? Almost. 500 meters, 23 meters per second. Light them up. I'm a little disappointed, actually, because I thought this was going to take an entire stream to figure out, but this system works. So we don't really need to do much with it. And boink. Huh. It worked. It worked with a lot to spare. Yeah, I was like, I don't know why some of these chutes were bigger than the others, and to be very honest with you, I'm not entirely sure that I care. So, decouple node. It's the last little bit of testing here. Decouple node. Oh man, what if that canister starts rolling down a hill and just rolls forever? Boink. Yep, there it goes. I had not considered this possibility. Ten out of 10. Better than Falcon Heavy Core. I don't know. One day a Falcon Heavy Core is going to do a propulsive landing on Mars, and the part that you need to recover isn't going to just start rolling downhill. is interesting. I wonder... I mean, I can probably add a little, like, bubble tank to two sides to keep this from rolling, but I really wanted to keep the part count out of it. This thing being 3 parts is really nice. 8 struts. 4-1 each to keep it from rolling. That's 8 more parts. Move the RCS ports to the central part. I wonder if they'll have the authority we need, although they barely give us the authority we need. Huh. I'm say really, when we park the rover around it, it's going to have those 2 forks that go on either side with a docking port on one side. That might be able to... We could probably arrest it from rolling. Alright, we should do one more landing test. The struts can be removed on EVA. True that. We have to bring it all the way back to the base before we can remove it. And I don't know what the hell is up with that Z fighting. It's really annoying. Alright, let's try to target a particular area and land there. Revert to hangar. But I might not be able to make the whole stream every time, Wookie, but I will definitely come by as often as I can. I'll just, I'll volunteer to be on Firewatch, Baby Watch. And then me and Mini Crash can just sit here and watch stuff, probably while she's getting fed. RCS, stability control, engine activate, entry mode, time warp. See what I did there? SpaceX, Space Sexy, Space XC. Oh, I get it, because it retro burn landed like a SpaceX booster, and it's sexy. It's all the air brakes. Gotta have a booster landing with hips. Yeah. Alright, map. Anytime now, KSP. Thank you. Bring up our list of junk. Oh, we're nowhere near any of the junk we can land near. Oh, we might be able to land near this. That's our first landing. So, would you guys absolutely object if I turned on infinite fuel to adjust our landing site to there? The latest test craft I was doing is quote-unquote so ugly, but so good, making nice, tidy sub 200 kilometer circular orbital insertion. Sub 200 kilometer might be the thing, though. That's a good idea, Pulsified. Wookie, I do have to tell you, the bus stop station, Weeb station we haven't named yet, is going in about a 250 kilometer orbit. So I would plan for at least a 300 kilometer, 400 kilometer capability. Why is it... What are you doing to my nodes, homie? That is entirely uncool. Crunchyroll station. Might have to pay royalties for that. Okay, to launch inside the station's orbit, and then, yeah, catch up to it on OMS. Probably a good call. I don't think that's going to be soon enough for us to do our braking burn, so we'll take this a little higher as the planet will rotate. Maybe we'll catch it next pass. So Alt F12. Infinite propellant. Yeah, 400 meters per second. That was exactly our margin last time. There's a few hundred meters per second left in the EFT at main engine cutoff. Gobs of OMS fuel because you fitted all the tanks with OMS fuel. Yep. Say, Wookie, I appreciate your thread on the YouTube video taking anime names for the station. We're going to make the official the official vote for it will be on the video where it gets put together, or basically the second SKS launch for assembly. Whoa, where did that rotation come from? That was not my input. Stop it. Alright, 16 minutes. Let's just warp through this. Says the burn will take 20 seconds. I'm not sure how much I believe that, but... What? Did I hit a key I didn't mean to? Oh, no, it was setting the target. Yeah. Of course it was. Oh, boy. Let's just go ahead and go for this now. Ullage, ignition. Three kilometers per second of OMS. Oh, Jesus. Yeah. I guess a lot of that is supposed to be transferred to the station itself. Just little top-offs here and there. But I'm very curious to see how well that thing re-enters the atmosphere. Or goes through flight proofing. I guess I need to know what kind of configuration you would like it in for re-entry. It's going to be... The Shuriken itself was really, really fickle. Alright, and here's going to be the second question poll of the day. Do I want to try to use MechJeb's automated landing guidance? A system I have literally zero faith in working. Or do we just want to try to run it for ourselves and see what happens? Cast your vote now. Polls closing soon. I have not used MechJeb's descent guidance since like version 2.4. So there's that, you know? You'll make a Shuriken K operator's manual when you're all done to outline quirks and requirements of flying it. Very useful. It's nice to have a written record, something I can refer back to. Alright, so let's plot a node here. Maybe it'll not jump around a whole lot. And just get that periapsis to something. Always good to see new explosions. Oh, no. 30 kilometers was about what we set it at last time. I'm assuming we want it a little beyond our target, although our target will shift by the time we get there. So we're going to run with that, although I need to see the altitude of... I just want to see what the altitude here is. 63 kilometers, so no. We don't actually fire our engines until 40 kilometers. But that's going to reduce as we hit atmo. So what does that look like if we were to cut this into slices? 15 degrees? Let's say that's almost polar, so that's 180. That would be 90, 45, so maybe 30 degrees. Spoken like a true Hollywood exec. Alright, let's see where we are when we get around to this node. And where is our target? Probably 10 degrees. So maybe we should be shifting this about there. Now it's up to 52. I guess we'll just do the runtime to make it work. good news is that if we do a big mission with this stuff... Oh, wait, before we get any further. Off with infinite propellant. Good day, sir. Let's get ourselves angled into the node. Good thing about having all of this junk around Mars is that we really don't have any place where we lose signal. Uh, 4 minutes out. Says it'll take 14 seconds to do that burn. 1294 in the tank. There we go. Time warp it in just a little bit. Just a little bit. Alright. We'll kill it at about a minute out. Maybe a little less, because it says 14 seconds. But our range gap thing there is depleting. So, ullage, ignition. Stay on target, little guy. Yeah, we're looking for... Ooh, 30 kilometers. I came in a little hot there. The bigwigs of Iridium would love to sell you a shiny new constellation of comsats, though, I'm sure. Alright, so there's our periapsis. We're a little off. We probably got a good 40 minutes before we get to our node, so... Alright, let's just get to it. Let's see where we hit Atmo. Oh, let's say Avionics locked. No connection? We got plenty of electric charge. I guess it's because we're time warp. Oh, yeah, because the little core shuts down. Unlocking controls. No connection. I was just talking about how nice it was to have so much junk around Mars that we rarely lose connection. And here we have connection. Uh-huh. Totally cursed. But at least the legend of Veos is held true. Something dumb happened the minute he walked in the door. Alright, I'm not going to bother correcting for that, but if we can land just a few kilometers north of Mars 42.1, I will be happy. I will honestly say that is probably not going to happen. I speculate we're going to be here right along the Terminator when we land. Let's take a quick judgment here. Add maneuver. What will our altitude be? 53 kilometers. So that's just a little bit before we fire our engines. 47, 46. That's when we're going to fire our engines. So maybe we'll be right on. I mean, this will never happen, but let's just see. I doubt it, but wasn't that the one where you needed to burn for capture and every single satellite was on the opposite side of the planet? Yes. Exactly. We brought this... Oh, it was the Origami Venus mission. We brought this nice cluster of satellites, and they all ended up clustered on the opposite side of the planet. It was frustratingly hilarious. Alright, so now we just hold retrograde and wait until we get to 42 kilometers altitude. 42 is a repetitive magic number at Mars, and I don't feel like it's a coincidence. Oh, only like 3 more swigs of triple left, so we must be coming up nearing the end here. 15 minutes. We can run a little long today. We got in-laws and visitors and dogs That baby is well looked after. Very well indeed. Oh, and isn't it going to be rotating away from us? Yeah, look. It's already chased out that node by a couple of degrees. I mean, if we were landing on the moon, that's about what we would be going for. This is not the moon, and we are not landing there. It's the answer to everything. 42, indeed. One way to guarantee coverage with random orbits is to put some things prograde and other things retrograde. Or geostationary above your target. Or, what would be the prefix for Mars? It can't be airy stationary, can it? That just sounds weird. Someone educate me. 88 kilometers. Automated Earth atmospheric drones. You operate from ballistic. You use lightning orbits. Yeah, that's gotta get interesting. But it's the actual landing site here, the EP 400 Bouncy Castle. Episode 400 Bouncy Castle. Aero synchronous? Maybe. No, our target is the Mars 4-2, which was the very first successful Mars landing. I doubt we're going to hit it, but we're going to try. Yeah, I forgot to account for the fact that it's going to be walking away from us. Mars is in a 25-hour it rotates once every about 25 hours. The one that didn't litho break. I use plane drones to control them beyond the horizon. Use satellite communication. Oh, interesting. Yeah. So I guess at that from Plastic's latitude, geostationary won't work. If you had a cluster of geosynchronous launched at different intervals, you'd probably make sure that one's way up on the northern hemisphere every time. Current altitude 51 kilometer. Yeah, my prediction of right near the Terminator is probably going to be somewhat accurate. I don't even think we're going to make it all the way out here to our maneuver node. I forgot to account for the fact that we're going to slow down, and our orbit, our telemetry is going to drop. So yeah, we're coming nowhere near it. Current altitude 43 kilometers. Radar altitude. This is obviously not accurate, so we're going to light our engines and not hit our target. 42, ignition. I wonder how much deflection we can achieve. At this altitude, none. Yeah, obviously. Because I couldn't very easily pitch up either. So, goodbye node, we don't need you anymore. Wow, it is fighting me. When you say telemetry, do you mean trajectory? Yeah, probably. You know, something like a 63-degree constellation, 12-hour period. And you still need aircraft to supplement your comms. I mean, yeah, I can see how it would definitely make things a lot easier. I forgot we need to lock tanks open. In. Stop. Cat Blue Flame, good to see you. Thanks for coming out. Glad you flippin' made it. Simulation gave you how to fly the aircraft. You need comms. It's a drone. Oh, okay. Oh, it's Trandroid. Trandroid! Oh, welcome! That's so awesome that you made it. Goodbye, known Majin. Oh, Wookie. It has in fact been a while. I'm really glad you finally made it out to another live stream. It's really awesome to see you. I'm really glad you're still around. And welcome. Alright, okay. Time to start paying attention to things. 27 kilometers. Oh, that's right. I thought my first drogues went at 25, but they didn't. No, the first drogues went at 10, right? We have statistics for the number of... Do you have any statistics if the number of regular viewers increase? What do you mean by regular? And do you mean here, or do you mean on YouTube? It's more today than it's been before. Cat Blue Flame, we are testing resupply pods for a Mars base that we hope to deploy to Mars sometime soon. I'll say that. So we're going to have this base that we're hopefully going to land. Hopefully. And these little canisters have food, water, and oxygen, and there's this little rover that goes out, collects them, and brings them back to said base. Hopefully. We've gotten one successful landing on this thing. We're shooting for a second. We are hoping to do a targeted landing, but there's our target, and here's where we are, so that didn't work very well. The Reddit post about Cerberus, we've gotten him a few more Twitch followers. Yeah, maybe a few. You've seen the base with 9,000 Astros engines. Yep, that's the one. Oh, drogues. Hold, 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 hold. Come on, come on. Yes. Yes. Alright. We can kill our engine, and we can just turn that off. Wah. Strip down Jawa Crawler. More viewers, the better, but remember the OG. Oh, yeah. See, they're, the most consistent of everybody who comes to these are definitely the OGs, and I am super thankful for all of you. I believe! 114, 2 kilometers, so our primary descent chute. Nice G-load during that deploy. Yep. There's no Kerbals on this thing, so we can G-load the hell out of it. There's primaries. And we are in there like swimwear. That's the worst thing ever. I should never say that. I'm sorry. Whoa! What? Did we hit the ground and I missed it because I was looking at chat? Okay, well, this is what happens when you don't pay attention. You still get your supply canister. And the most interesting parachutes ever. Alright, you know, I'll take it. Veos. Oh, jeez. Well, hey, you know, the important bits are around here in the rubble. The engine survived. Okay, I guess we didn't hit engine bell first. There we go. We got the good bits. This is what matters. Yes. And with all that said and done, I'd say it's a fairly successful round of testing, and we can greenlight these descent canisters and get them into production in preparation of our mission. We still have a lot of work to do to the drop base itself, so I don't think we're going to have it ready in time for the next Mars window. But step by step, we're going to get there. Anyway, so that's going to do it for this live stream recap. I do want to mention that next week is the 2-year anniversary of this Kerbal Space Program series on YouTube, and I'm hoping to do a extra special live stream to celebrate it, probably on July 18th, 2018. I will be posting the details to Discord, so be sure to jump on over there and check it out. So thanks for hanging out, everybody. I really appreciate it, and I will see all of you in the next one. So until then, see you later.